Uganda is among countries across the globe developing HIV sustainability roadmaps to increase domestic investments in HIV programs as mass donor fund cuts continue to jeopardize the world's push to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030, a goal that was within grasp before this disruption. According to the Global HIV Updates report, in sub-Saharan Africa, where external funding financed almost 80% of HIV prevention, antiretroviral therapy, among other advances, led to a rebound in life expectancy from 56.5 years in 2010 to 62.3 years in 2024. In Uganda, the UNAIDS country director has called for social contracting between government and civil society to bridge HIV funding gaps.
Government using its own resources, domestic, resources, to support civil society to do some of the work. And this means that government then shifts the task and says, look here, we don't need to see people who are living with HIV, who are adhering to treatment, they are virally suppressed, we don't need to see them in the clinic. Civil society, can you help us follow them up at the community level?
The U.S. President's emergency plan for AIDS relief had committed $4.3 billion in bilateral support globally for services that were stopped overnight when the United States government shifted its foreign assistance strategies. However, in Uganda, Mary Bogman, the PEPFAR country director, says this service is still available.
The fear that these services are not available sometimes keeps people from the clinic, and that is not helpful. It is not helpful to have medications sitting in a pharmacy and people not going in to picking them up, or as was said, keeping extra at home because they're afraid. So that's really where we rely on all of you and the community to get the right messages out there. But more broadly, again, we are seeing a global shift in resources. Global public health, global health security remains a priority for the U.S. government.
She says focus should be put on how best to utilize available resources to create sustainability.
I would hope that we don't overly focus just on what has been and how funding has shifted, but what can we do with our current resources and how do we create the future that we all want to be a part of as we look towards the next steps.
In February this year, the Uganda AIDS Commission called for allocation of 300 billion shillings to cater for critical drugs and laboratory supplies. For this, Dr. Vincent Bagambe, the Director Planning and Strategic Information at the Commission, says government funding has since been progressive with an additional 100 billion shillings for the same purpose.
If the civil society was being supported or funded by external resources and these resources are reducing, but we need their services. We now need to move into a situation where government and the civil society are agreeing on what roles the civil society can play for us.
Juliet Nalwoga, NTV.
Amen.